The Athan Prime Fleet Museum is where Starfleet keeps its most illustrious starships, according to Star Trek Picard. However, it's unknown whether the museum is still open in the 32nd century of Star Trek Discovery. The rebuilt Enterprise NX-01 was the first exhibit introduced to the Starfleet Museum in the series finale of Star Trek Enterprise. These are the voyages. Since then, the museum and its collection have probably undergone a number of improvements that have allowed it to last well into Star Trek's future. After the catastrophic events of the burn, a subspace shockwave that obliterated many Federation starships, Starfleet and the Federation were in a poor position. When the USS Discovery arrived in the 32nd century, all active warp reactors exploded as a result of the shockwave destabilizing the dilithium that controls antimatter containment during warp travel. It's uncertain if the burn had any impact on the Starfleet Museum and its amazing collection of vintage starships, but it drastically reduced Starfleet's armada. The Starfleet Museum was probably unaffected by the burn, because neither the space dock nor the decommissioned starships needed warp travel, since the burn only damaged operational warp drives. The restored USS Enterprise D in the museum has a functioning warp drive, but Star Trek Picard explained that it was only ever utilized when the entire fleet was assimilated by the Borg. It's quite possible that Starfleet took all residual minerals from the vintage starships on exhibit at the museum. Given the paucity of dilithium in the run-up to the burn, this protects the collection from being destroyed, because the most famous starships from previous epochs would be resistant to the burn's effects. There should still be a Starfleet Museum, given that Star Trek Discovery has shown that there is a Starfleet Academy in the 32nd century. The ancient space dock has been replaced by something more in line with 32nd century design, because it would have undergone significant upgrades throughout the ages. In Discovery, Federation headquarters is located on board the USS Federation, which was shielded from dangers by a distortion field to prevent the artifacts from being looted by the Orion pirate network, the Emerald Chain. Identical measures should be taken to safeguard the Starfleet Museum. The USS Discovery, a symbol of the 23rd century, was largely renovated for service in the 32nd century, rather than being decommissioned to the Fleet Museum. This was because the Discovery's groundbreaking spore drive offered an alternative to Star Trek's warp drive. The Discovery spore drive was a priceless asset in a time when dilithium was in short supply, enabling Captain Saru and his crew to look into the real cause of the burn and start the United Federation of Planets reconstruction. The USS Discovery, an active spaceship from those better years that was actively constructing a more optimistic future, became a symbol of optimism, while the artifacts of the Fleet Museum served to remind citizens in the 32nd century of the Federation's better times. The USS Discovery remained unaffected by the destruction that had befallen contemporary Starfleet. Much like the USS Enterprise D in Star Trek Picard Season 3, the Discovery has now developed into a metaphor for the possibility that, in the far future of Star Trek, the Federation will once again be the driving force behind acceptance and harmony. Therefore, when Star Trek Discovery concludes with Season 5 next year, the USS Discovery will probably have earned its place among the legendary starships at the 32nd Century Starfleet Museum. Please share your thoughts with us in the comments section below. You can like the video to show your appreciation for it, and subscribe to the channel to receive more breakdowns like this in the future. We appreciate you watching, and we'll talk to you soon.